Hey everyone, hope you're doing well. Um, I'm going to change things up a little bit today, so to speak, off the cuff, without a proper script in front of me. And we're gonna mix things up a little bit. We're gonna have a grand old time, you and I, talking about removing negatives. What do I mean by that? There's basically two ways you can go about trying to change your life and accomplish your goals. That's either removing negatives or it's adding positives. So adding positives might be, if I get this much work done, I'm going to treat myself. I'm going to check Facebook for 5 minutes before I get back to doing things. Whereas if you're removing negatives, you're cutting the things out of your life that are holding you back. Now, I'd say that removing negatives are a lot more important than adding the positives, because let's say you're really trying to become more self-disciplined. If you've got your goal, you've got your specific goal. If you do that, then it will prove that you're more self-disciplined. If you can add all the positives you want, but if you're working on a sort of rotten base, if you've got these major character or habitual flaws that are holding you back, so maybe you're eating healthily, you've not got your brain right. Maybe you're going to bed late, you're getting up early, your circadian rhythm's off. These things sort of tee you off badly from the start. You're if you're playing video games all the time, or if you're binging trivial stuff on social media, then you're not properly in the zone to begin with. You're going to be less disciplined. All the positives in the world aren't going to stop you from questioning why you're doing something, why you can't just go back to binging and enjoying in the simple pleasures. So it's a lot more important to remove these negatives before you start adding positives. So by adding positives, you can use up unnecessary energy. So this is, again, you're working on your rotten base. Adding the positives, you get annoyed at yourself for the wrong reasons. You're not getting annoyed at yourselves for the negatives necessarily. You start focusing on the positives, and using up energy you could be using to remove your negatives. Another point might be by removing these negatives, by just having less in your life. I think it's important to find happiness with having less first before having more. These people, when they buy their sport cars, they become millionaires, they become CEO, but they're still not happy because they were chasing the wrong thing. And I think if you take a bit of a risk and you just completely detox yourself, anything that's holding you back, you just get rid of it. So for me, for example, I've gotten rid of the video games. I'm only checking Facebook once or twice a day. I'm setting an alarm clock for when I get up in the morning. I'm not watching any porn whatsoever anymore. I'm taking cold showers. So just getting back to basics. Just starting over without your rotten core, and just start building up solid foundations, so that when you do build the house all the way up to CEO, if that's what you want to do, then it is actually a strong house that you're satisfied with. It does say as well, when you have less, you've just got less stuff in your life, your brain is just a lot more free to think about what you want to do. So you might figure out you don't want to be CEO of the big company. Maybe gardening is all you want to do, and you just want to make really nice flowers, and you want to sell those, make a bit of a profit, but that's what you're happy doing. So by removing the negatives, or removing all this, by just going about cleaning the slate, just cleaning the unhealthy stuff out of your life, it just gives you a lot more room to ponder and to grow into. And yeah, finally, without all your luxuries that are holding you back, you'll become stronger. So you won't just be more peaceful, but you'll develop a bit of an edge. If you take take cold showers, for instance, just that act of knowing that when you turn the nozzle, turn it on, it is going to be an unpleasant feeling, but just forcing yourself to do it, because you know that by doing it each day and every day, of having this conscious act of choosing the more difficult path, and by getting up a few of these smaller self-discipline habits, then it sends a different sort of subconscious message to your brain. So every time I take a coaster, I'm just thinking I'm choosing the harder path. And so maybe I've been doing that for a few weeks now. Now, when I'm just about to get distracted, I'm at that point where I'm just about to click off and think, no, no, no. I drive the cursor back and think, nope, we're going to focus. Yeah. I heard there was focus and concentration is just like any other muscle. You need to train it. You know? So maybe you can't. Maybe you are clicking away, but if you stop yourself maybe one more time from clicking away than you did yesterday, then that is progress. And as if you keep on doing it for weeks and for months, you just focus on what you're doing today, but you keep on doing it every single day, and that is how you build habits, and that's how you can change the course of your life, basically. So I think I'm going to leave it there for today. I hope you got some useful out of this video. If you got anything else to say, please leave it in the comments, and yeah, I'll see you next time. And until then, keep growing.